Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to this very exciting moment in the Last Talk Show history. A lot of you know that Pointer likes to talk, and you like to hear us talk because it's one of the most important ways to build connections. It's all about community. Amen. Here on the Last Talk Show. It's all about real ones, finding real ones, and just connecting in ways that other platforms are not connecting. So I'm here with a legend. I'm here with someone that you have seen before in different formats and different contexts. And there's one thing that is worthy of note in this individual, and that he is a real one. And I'm talking about my brother Christian. Christian is in the house. Christian, how you doing?
I can't complain. It's always a beautiful day. Always a beautiful day.
Especially with the Last Talk Show. We always have great conversation. No libation needed because we're high off of this moment and this experience. So how has life been, Christian?
Life's been good. It's actually been really good. Things are on the up and up. My days still go by plenty fast enough, so it means they're filled with abundance and things like that.
We'd love to see it. Yeah. Now, you have been on the show multiple times before. Ups and downs, smiles and frowns, maybe even in the real one department. But has anything changed since your appearance on the platform? Has anything changed relationship-wise, real one-wise?
So, I do have my lovely lady. She's in the studio right now behind the computer.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, dating in California, dating in LA has its ups and downs, but it's nice. Found somebody that we used to be next door neighbors. It was actually really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Girl next door.
Actual girl next door vibe. So it's actually pretty dope. But that's been good. The job, I got in a better job, closer to my son.
I was about to say, shout out to baby boy. That's
shout
my
out
boy
Pharaoh.
right
Shout out Pharaoh. So right now, they say you're either going through a valley or coming out of one. And I've been coming out of this valley, hitting it. So
that's a blessing. And you've stayed consistent. You've stayed real. You've stayed true to some of those values that we like to speak on sometimes on this show. We're definitely not going to get canceled on this very small snippet. So we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it. We're going to keep it real, but not rude. Not too raw. Not too raw. Because one of the first things we have to discuss, my dear friend, is small talk. We're going to go right into some dating. We might dip into other topics, but you want advice, friends watching. You want advice from a real one who has gone through the ups and downs of dating in Los Angeles, and maybe in other places as well. Right. Have you dated in other places?
Yeah. I mean, in the military, there's always kind of military dating, but it's not there's not really that much substance to it because you're kind of all trapped on the same.
A lot of it is just in the air, forces in the air.
Oklahoma was also a problem. I don't know, something about it. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, well, maybe.
You never know.
Or the lack of Black Wall Street being there. We miss you. It's a pity. But we want to talk about the dynamic of small talk. There was an individual who reached out to me, a wonderful individual, who said, Pointer, you need to discuss how small talk has died. Right. And how the art of conversation, that was it. The art of conversation has died. Okay. And how small talk is a little too small. And there's no substance. Have you had experience, even if not in dating, because there's still an art of conversation with making friendships,
right?
Even though people watch a real one to help people find love, not friendships, but your experience.
Yeah. So I think the reason why, good question, by the way, as often from the illustrious Pointer.
Oh, wow.
I think the reason why small talk has died is mostly because everyone is now all talking about the same shit, right? There used to be a point in time before social media, before everyone was always ingesting the same thing, that if I were bringing small talk to you, there is a chance that I'm actually enriching your life, adding something to it, teaching you, showing you something that, hey, I may have picked up in my travels over here. Now we pick up our travels on the phone and, oh, well, this looks nice. Oh, this sounds good. Like everything has become so clean that a final product is always being introduced. And if I don't know as much as we may have known before, then we just take out our phones. It also stops small talk from being something that leads to discovery. And now we start talking about all the big stuff because small talk has basically just been reduced to a Google search or, some other things.
Yeah, it's very valid too, because I've had experiences. I've taken many L's in the dating department, as some of you know, my members. Thank you for paying to hear my woes. But a lot of the time, some ladies want to cut the small talk and get right to the meat.
Right.
They want to get right to it. And I'm like, you can't really have one without the other, in my opinion, because the essentials need to be discussed rather soon. Sure. But those little things, as Houdini said, it's the little things you do that mean so much. So it's the little things said as well that mean a lot to building a connection.
Absolutely.
So you have to find that balance. It's all about balance in relationships. What can you recommend to, especially the brothers, maybe,
Right.
when it comes to the art of conversation? What should they talk about? You said they're talking about the same stuff. First, let's talk about that. What are those things that everybody's saying when it comes to small talk?
Well, I mean, if you go and look on your average dating app profile, right? Everyone, I want either someone who travels, someone who wants to go and experience new things, and so on and so forth, right? All these things that sound beautiful, but the experiences you want to go experience now are because you follow somebody who has done it. So that's not your experience anymore. It's not, I'm having this conversation with my partner or my mom, my sister, my auntie, and they've played up Greece they've played up Belize. It's, oh, look at this spot you need to go and see in Belize. Oh, look at this spot that looks good in Greece. Oh, hey, look at this spot that looks good in Rome. Hey, look at this spot that looks good in China. So everyone is flocking all towards the same thing. So they're, like I said, that takes away from the discovery aspect of it.
It's true. It's true.
And then when it comes to foods and like everything has been so homogenized to where there's no conversation being had about something being new based off of the imagination aspect of it. Now everyone wants to go and chase what's behind the screen.
But what would you say then is the way to present yourself, since many people watching are on dating apps?
Right.
I think you ventured in the past on dating apps. Unfortunately I've suffered, but what would you say then they should present when it is enter your bio, enter the fun things about yourself? What do you want to do?
Are we talking about from a guy? Obviously from a guy.
Let's help out the brothers. We're going to help out both,
perspective,
though, because a lot of women don't want men to speak on what women can do better. But it's like, you want us, so why not take some advice from us sometime?
Right.
I can help you.
I think it's a matter of I don't want to get too big into video games, right? But there's a character that I like to play. Right. And you can customize this character, change the shirt, change the shoes, change everything. Right. And there's 36 characters on this game. Right. I play this character and you can tell 100% of the people who customize this character are men. There is not a single feminine touch, no matter of the thousands of people that play this dude. Right. And it's only because the only people who pick him up are men because he's dude, strong, big damage or whatever. But you have other characters that you can add that when they get that feminine touch, it pulls women in to be like, oh, it has elements of softness to it. Okay. It has a place where like I would feel kind of comfortable, right? Right. When dudes try to put their best foot forward, we try to put what we think is a guy's best foot forward.
That's all we can do. Yeah.
We want ideally to try and, because for guys, we do have to cast that like broad net, right? We can't really show really what we like to do because when we're dating or we're trying to find dating, we're trying to find somebody. Right, we do try to lean into her, right? That's why I want a guy that travels. Guys be like, I like to travel.
It's like we don't.
I want to. Right, I
do.
It's cool.
Yeah.
We want to go out and have new experiences, right? It's like, I'm pretty sure, and I don't necessarily want to speak for all men, but
speak for some of them.
For some of them, right? For the ones that tend to be having the issues, is because we're homebodies. The homebodies have the issues because what the dating world, the dating experience has now become is women want men to do a lot of things, right? And I don't know if guys inherently want to do a lot of things,
especially depending on what the things are.
Especially depending on, or at least the consistency of it, right? Like it's not that I don't want to do them, it's where I'm thinking of the strong suits and things that should be in a relationship are different. That's why we have, you go to my house is like a box, right? My woman comes over, there's plants there, right? There are things that they're adding to the life, right? So when it comes to tie that back into the dating profile, guys go, oh, this is what I think women want to see, right? And we start doing, oh, well, this is my best outfit. This is my best this. This is my best this. Instead of, find your, I don't know, how much can we say?
You say, keep it real.
Okay.
Keep it real.
Find your lesbian friend and ask, I'm just saying, dead ass, because they post the same shit that we post, but they're finding dates, right? And I would argue it's a much smaller lesbian or LGBT pool than there is a straight pool. But they are pulling more men looking, pulling more women. Right? They're able to pull that despite the fact that they present very masculine, which is men naturally do. They still have that feminine touch that does make it look comfortable on the other end.
So we'd have to get advice from studs.
Something like that.
Something like that.
But if you're trying to, what do they say? If you're trying to hook a fish, don't talk to the fisherman.
Very true.
You get what I
Very
mean?
true.
Like the fish knows where it's going to be. It knows what it wants.
Yeah.
And I don't mean fish in any other example other than the idiom that it was presented as. If you want to hunt deer, really nice things, you talk to the deer. Right?
Talk to the deer, not Bambi.
So from a guy's perspective, another thing that we really, really need to stop doing immediately is trying to fix.
Well, break that down a little more, because some things need fixing.
Some things do need fixing.
We are, by God's given nature, we're solutions oriented. A lot of men. If you don't get a solutions oriented man, dump them.
Because we want to fix it.
We want to fix it.
We want to fix it, right?
Yeah.
But some things get fixed with just time.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if I have a knot in my shoulder, right? Some of the fixing is not to just go in there and try and really just get it out in one go. It's you let it, like, you need it out a little bit. And that's where that kind of like, and I suffer from this too. I'm not going to say it. Yes, it's hard. It's tough. I've got a couple decades of it, but this intrinsic need to jump to the solution as opposed to waiting for the solution to come out.
Do you fear that? I fear it sometimes, that if we just keep waiting, the solution could have been presented sooner. But since we just let time do its thing, something that could have been solved in a day, realistically, now it's taking a week. Now it's taking even a month.
Well, training wheels allow a kid to ride the bike. Right. As soon as you take the training wheels off, if that child might immediately just kind of like splat down, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to, again, this is not about the child. As a parent, it's easy for me to have these analogies.
Absolutely.
Once they learn how to ride it themselves, that's a better, like, it sits with people better when they're able to come to that conclusion faster.
Yes.
Right? If I come to you and I say, I have a problem, right? That immediately jumps you into where can I find the solutions, right? Because you've already been primed to look for the issues, as opposed to the person who has the issue. They're sitting in it and they don't necessarily know what to make of it. And then they're guiding themselves through, and then they find the solution. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is right. I'm sure you've been, I'm sure you've had the conversation, I'm sure as most men have had the conversation of, I've been telling you this for years, but your friend says it randomly, and now all of a sudden you grasp it. And it's because what they're coming to us for is not just this like immediate fix, but that's what dudes do. We jump right in the middle and say, hey, well, let me solve your issue quick.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think it all depends on the issue. I think because if you see your lady struggling,
right.
Yeah, I won't provide too many pertinent examples as we don't want to be canceled. But if it's something where your health is in danger,
then yes, we should step in, absolutely.
No, but let me just do my thing. Just let me, and it's like,
but that's also where it depends on, what that household is leading toward.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If there is a typical male or not male, if there's a typical leader follower kind of aspect of it, it's not that like leading is inherently better than following. Like, it's not that. You could be a great general, but a shit soldier.
That's very true.
You could be a great soldier, but a general. Like, it's when we hear lead, we assume that this means this like surrendering of something like that,
Somebody
as opposed
to submit.
As opposed to being like, okay, well, this household, if we want to sit in this household, and most chances are this is something that most people come together with. But when it comes to things like health, you want this, I want this, we want to be better at this, so this is kind of where we're going. Let's nip it in the bud right here. But for a lot of things, when it comes to like conversations had at work, or just the regular emotional depth that women have that men don't, we kind of stop at like that second level, and they kind of keep going, and we're like, well, I don't need to keep going deeper into the parking lot to understand that 17 floors below is pretty deep. I get it. I can see all the buttons. Yeah. Let's just not go to level 14. But there's probably a reason why they're going to 14. And we don't have this like patience, because guys would rather just break the house down than, put effort into, like building up.
And there's a beauty to having that, I'd say, the wherewithal that women have to go through it. I think because then that is why it can lead to, but I learned more while I went through this pain, but I'd rather avoid the pain in general. Right. And I think that all can tie back into what we're experiencing with dating. Right. I think a lot of queens will suffer through a blue-faced baby, because they want to learn and be like, but I can fix this man. A lot of ladies want to fix brothers too.
Right.
A lot do. And it's like, I have the tools, I have the experience because I've been through other situations. And it's like, stop getting with terrible men. I'm going to just keep it real. Ladies, I want your thoughts on this as we segue. Hypergamy. What are your thoughts on hypergamy in general? And then I can specify.
I mean, I think it's just with anything. It's if you're working a job that doesn't treat you right,
find another job.
Find another job, right? But if you're, and then there comes a point in time where, someone who I talk to often, cherish this person, and she talks about how hard her job is, right? But the community is there. Even though the pay not be there, the community is absolutely there. And it's, when you hear those, oh, well, now you're a part of the family. And you kind of like roll your eyes and like, whatever, purpose. Right? Yeah, but when you actually do feel like you're part of the family, it really
does make a difference.
It does make a difference. I'm sorry, how do
because I'm talking about hypergamy.
Hypergamy.
Right? Yeah.
So you go on to the next thing, right, at any given time. When it comes to a relationship, I'm sure we've all read the literature, some of us maybe. There is this idea of relational equity, right? Guys will, I've been in it for 10 years already. I might as well just deal with it for and just keep putting into it. Women don't necessarily have that, right? Because hypergamy does go both ways eventually, but for the most part, the things that guys expect from women is really, it's not as much.
That's why I don't think it's the same.
It's not.
I wouldn't call it hypergamy.
But we will cheat and leave if we're not getting sex. We will leave if we're not getting certain things. Men will absolutely do those things, but we'll do them for, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but we'll do them for significantly less reasons.
But would you call that hypergamy? Because if the actual definition of hypergamy would be typically in the terms of women going up, they're dating up.
They're dating better. It's not so much up.
Well, better is normally up from what women value. I think you'd agree. But they want a man. Look at what they want. Now 4 6s, but 3 6s, which is kind of demonic. But they want a 6-foot man.
Right.
They want him to have a 6-pack or 6-inch Subway. And then they want the 6 figures.
6 years, right?
Right. So I'm like that. I think we pretty much agree in this country.
But none of those things make you better or up. Up. Those are
women disagree. Vertically, you're up. Financially, you're up.
Right.
But
that doesn't.
And then even physically, you'd be considered. Oh, you're more protective because you got the gun.
That's more. And the reason why I say better and not so much up, is because it's if you go back, right? I don't know if we've had this conversation about like olden times where you have a village and you have village A and village B, right? Village A invades village B, right? Kills all the men, which is usually what they would do. So who is left? Women and children, right? Children tend to get conscripted into slavery services because it's child labor. They work longer hours, right? Women do one of two things. They're either killed as well or they become part of like the harem, right?
Yeah, to procreate.
Hypergamy in that situation dictates survival. I need to be better and I need to show off more for now this person because it's better for survival. It's better for the survival of my child. Hypergamy is really literally based less in the kind of consumerism and the shallow way that we would look at it today and really more geared for survival.
I think that definition is pertinent for that time. But I think women today that are just like terms evolve. Right. So that is valid in that context, but in the context of women today, even some of you saying, I believe in hypergamy, it literally is, I'm going up.
But what they believe is a better situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A better situation. Okay.
But a better is normally,
I guess the definition of up, yes. But if somebody is dating below, they might necessarily want to date up. They might want to just date equal.
How many women do you honestly think
want to date equal? Yeah. Very little.
Yeah. Right. So that's what I'm saying. But so in their mind, it has to be, those are the queens. Well, no offense to those, because I do like the idea of hypergamy. I do,
it makes sense.
It would make us step it up.
Right.
Like you don't have to work at McDonald's, my boy. No offense, McDonald's sponsor us. But I'm saying if you can get to In and Out and be a manager, and some of them claim they're making 6 figures, I'm like, it's still fast food. Just put a smile on.
Right, but then you would ask yourself, is that up? Or is that,
I think because financially, we know that money changes your life. The more money you make, it doesn't mean you're going to be happy. That's not what I'm saying.
It doesn't mean you're going to be happy.
But I'm saying in terms of the resources that you can attain, a better house, better car, better insurance, better XYZ,
better.
then you're up.
So right, you're going ideally.
Because I don't mean
you're
you're
going,
filthy rich.
yeah. But given the option, right?
Yeah.
If somebody is dating somebody for money, yeah, they're gonna obviously want more
Yeah.
because not necessarily just so much from a survival perspective, because you can say it made sense now or then, but it doesn't make sense now. It still makes sense now because there's no mother out there that, not I don't want to say no mother, but the vast majority of mothers do not teach their child to settle, their daughters to settle for less,
Right.
to go through it. Do what you need to do to get better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Whether that's now with the career driven, finding a man that does have his head on right. And if your man's really just kind of like stagnant, if that's the life you want, then you're probably cool there, right? Because a lot more the idea that everyone is just out chasing the next thing is a very LA centric thing.
Absolutely.
That's
Even
LA,
more
that's
America.
Miami, right? That's New York.
It's you go to other countries.
They're gonna sit and they're gonna be with their content or better.
Yeah.
They are not dating up. Most people just want better.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
if I started out with a 2001 crappy Intrepid, and now I've got a 2017 kind of
But that's
okay
up.
hybrid.
But that is up.
It's better.
It's more expensive. You would agree with that?
Yeah, but it ain't.
I think, and I want you to comment, friends.
Right.
I think most would agree better is up.
Better is up.
A better
Okay, I'll
job
give you that. I'll give you
is
that.
up.
But
So,
it's I
mean,
think
it
it's
is
just to hold on.
But like you
to.
said, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so you're right. So we're probably arguing, it's probably
Yeah,
semantics.
it's the same, yeah.
But
yeah.
up and better for sure. But I think it is still geared in, it's how they're wired, right? It's what so it's the same thing as telling our boys not to cry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, terrible.
We can tell our boys not to cry because our boys don't really have the wiring to cry. It's not really built in the testosterone. It's not really built in the lack of estrogen. It's not built in the lack of depth of emotion where we can tell our boys not to cry and they take it as this like, oh, it's hard to not cry. It's significant. I don't think about crying almost ever. And I don't know too many men who think about crying or who cry often. That's why when it's time to cry, it's like, hey, bro, you should probably get that out, right? Yeah. But then we teach our little girls not to cry, which is for what? It's for survival.
Yeah.
Even though...
But how many are actually teaching their girls to... I've never heard a mother or father to, don't cry, girl. I've never heard that.
You'd be surprised. At
You've heard that?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Your dear mother told you... We don't have to make it too personal, but she told your sister, don't cry?
She would probably tell my sister that's not the way to go about it.
But... And she might be right. It depends on what. See, that's a whole other tangent. That's a whole other tangent. Because sometimes tears are not going to solve it. Now, God gave them to you for a reason,
and that's it.
But I think that's what your dear mother might be speaking.
She's
to.
alluding to, right? But but we can't tell the same things to our daughters and our sons because we're not telling it to our sons for like.
That's what I was going to say.
It's the intent behind it.
Yeah.
I would naturally want and this is going to sound like typical gender roles. I want my son to earn his keep. I want my daughter to not have to work. Right. And it's because what the things I'm going to teach her, I'm going to teach him to build the house. Yeah. I would probably teach her to keep the house together. Both are important.
Need both.
Right. I need you to stub your fingers on the nail and the hammer. I need you to get cut and splintered from the wood. I need you to sweat from propping up the epoxy. I need you to do all of that. Yeah. Meanwhile, daughter, chances are the guy that's out there, I need you to look at your brother as an example. I need you to look at me as an example because I'm going to keep you alive. Yeah. That's my job. I think my son, I raised him to keep others alive, to keep women specifically alive, to keep his mother, to keep his sister. I raised to protect them. And I raised my daughters, or we raised our daughters to be
nurturer.
Right. But we raised them to put themselves in positions that they should be surviving in. Yeah. Right. That's why when they're drunk at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever they are in Hollywood, you feel for them because you're like, damn, that feels entire way. But you see a dude drunk at 1 a.m, I don't give a fuck. Right. Like, I don't feel that they're
I want them to get home safe.
Right. I don't know. I don't. But I don't feel that their safety is at stake. True. Because we don't look at men and women differently. I look at if that dude is drunk and he decides to run off at the mouth he's gonna have a drunk face, right? He might be able to catch it, or he might be able to do it. But if I see a girl in that situation, my desire to like keep this person safe, or not, okay, let me rephrase that. My desire for to teach them survival is like, damn, like it sucks that they have to go through these things. So yeah, there are plenty of women that they're told don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't cry because, even my grandma used to tell us, wasted water is all it is. It don't make no flowers grow, right?
Well, it could, and scientifically, you cry enough. If all of us start crying,
But then, can salty water provide sustenance for plants?
Something. It's going to do something.
Right. You're gonna have,
I think emotionally, the OJs cry together.
Right.
We can do this.
We can do
but we don't
this
have to go on that tangent. I want to wrap it up so we can get to our next topic so hypergamy, at the end of the day, you are for it.
I'm for it. I'm not. I understand that, like you said, it keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
I think the wanton abuse of it, I don't.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there are, like I'm saying, and we can get into that a little in the same conversation, of the 3 or 4 6s where you have to have this, and that. I think that's a standard that women should drop.
Right, for sure.
Not totally, not that it's inherently bad, but like you said, it's been abused.
Right.
And it's become where, I've heard literally on a real one, 5'11", it's got to be 6 feet. It's like, what?
Well, what's the difference?
Is there a big magical difference between 1 inch?
It's the number.
It's not fair.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people might say yes. Some people might be out here begging for an extra inch, but but no. So the standard of you got to be 6 feet. That's how, being light-skinned brother yourself, I get the 2% shit all the time. And I'm like, see, y'all niggas is mad my parents aren't darker. Like, I can
How
see
can I control that?
Right. I can see if I had to take a test. If we were all translucent and at 18 we took a black test and this is what I came out as, and it was like, oh, bro, you kind of got like an 18% on the black shit. And then you came around saying like, 2%. I'd be like, damn. I got to eat this because I have my entire life to prepare for this. I was born this color.
Yeah. But see and not to go on a not dating tangent, because the same argument can be made for our white people.
Right.
Where it's like, I didn't choose to be this.
Right.
This is what the last talk show, we used to do this all the time. So, you prefer not to.
It's hard to not do it.
But it's like, it is unfair,
right,
to cast that as some, literally, especially in the Floydian era, a few years ago, where it was all white people are racist.
Right.
You can't help it. And you have to say it.
Right.
You have to admit, I am a racist to black, because if you say it amongst white people, they're going to be like, oh, I don't care.
Right.
But it's like, I don't personally think that's fair.
It's not, because how do you control that standard?
Right. Now, I can agree with the fact that you have privilege. I can agree with that, but that doesn't mean they have to be mistreated or, you're lesser than a black person because you have this privilege. It's like, you can not be racist and be white. It just threw me off.
I mean, I would argue the vast majority of white people aren't racist.
I would like to believe that.
Right. I'd argue the vast or just as racist as we are. I would like to argue that everybody is about as racist as the next person. With that.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Dr. Umar level of racism, or the whatever any of the elder dragons level of racism is. If Dr. Umar, we're listening to Dr. Umar say this about the shout out Dr. Umar, some of the you say is right, but some of the he says, if you took black, that is celebrated when he says it, and you add white, that wouldn't be celebrated if Joe Rogan said
evil man in America.
Right. We can't we can't be doing that.
And it's not fair. It isn't. So I try to look out for all people, because we love all people as Jesus instructs, but it's that balance, because there are some terrible people out there in general. Like you said, Doc, we're going on too many tangents. I wanted to get back to, and real Last Talk Show fans have already kind of heard us discuss this. We can go a little deeper, maybe. In terms of, you said, men have their function, women have their function.
Right.
The man builds the house, the woman keeps the house. The still shocking statement of some queens that say they are the prize and men aren't the prize.
Right.
But in your analogy, both would be considered.
We're both the prize.
Right.
I want what you're able to add to my life.
Yes. So that makes you
At the end of the day, if you're able to add to my life in a way that I found valuable, sure.
Yeah.
If you got a shovel in your hand and I got a shovel in my hand and we're both digging the ditch the ditch gets done twice as fast, but then now we're out in the stuff that now we're both moving on to the next task, as opposed to us being able to like do it at the same time. Right. What I think, for us as men, there are chances where like, damn, like my nigga is about to do that. Like, ooh, I like that, right? And then you look at your woman, like, damn, my woman,
that mutual energy.
That mutual interest to say that. Again, this is back to the light skin thing. This is back to the 6 foot thing. You cannot be the prize because you were born like that.
Oh, see, that I don't agree with.
You had a 50-50 shot of being a woman. You had a 50% shot of being a man. And now that you're born the woman, you become this prize. So where does my... So
Well, okay, I don't mean just in terms of your gender.
Right.
I mean in terms of if God gave you beauty and you just happen to look like Halle Berry.
Right.
She didn't really work for that at all.
Right.
You know,
So
now some could say, but
so,
she exercised. Oh, but Halle Berry would still be a prize.
Well, why would she be a prize? Because
She looked good.
Right.
I mean, that alone.
But that's okay.
Halle, please enter my DMs.
How does that lead into idolatry?
Well, it's not me idolizing her, but it is me acknowledging that this is a baddie. This is a 10. She's a baddie with her baddie
She's
friend.
pretty based off of the fact that she got lucky. That does not make someone a prize.
Well,
Prizes, you work for prizes. You earn prizes.
Well, not in today's culture.
Today's about getting lucky.
That's a whole other conversation.
But today it's about getting lucky because a large amount of wealth generation is luck.
Yes.
Every rapper wants to be big.
But if you still have that wealth, then that is your prize. That inherent.
Then,
imagine you had a rich uncle who didn't even know about him.
Then
you pass
I would
away.
be,
that's a prize.
Right. I would be lucky.
Did you earn it?
No.
So
someone being with me, they're not earning, it's not me that's the prize. Because chances are I'm a person.
Not you personally.
You mean just we're
generalizing.
Part, right? People who don't work for what they have tend to not value other things. So yeah, your life, you are now driving that McLaren next to a nigga that thinks it's okay to be the waiters. And if the McLaren is worth more to you than being a good person, then yeah, you may have lucked up. But ultimately, when I say like, oh, I'm the prize, and it's like, okay, well, what did you do to become that? I look good. You did not choose to look good. You did not put in, you may have put on makeup, but she put on makeup. And like
got the hair done, but like you're saying, I put in the work. I put the work.
Well, but if it's a matter of like putting in effort, okay, well then why is the guy not the prize? Because then you ask like,
yes.
Same thing with dates. Do women want to plan the dates? No.
Yeah.
They want the men to plan the dates. Yeah. So the men are putting in the effort. Do the women want to pay for the dates? No. So the men have to pay for the dates. So
that's
the men
what we need to establish as well as a society.
Right.
Being good, because I'm being facetious, even though I do love Halle Berry. You cannot be a prize just based off of looks. Or just based on even your money, or based on, like you were saying.
Right. It is what is this package look like?
Absolutely.
Because if you had said like again, you can run the New York Marathon, right? As far as I know, there's no monetary prize in it. It's just the fact that I can say that I did it, right? Yeah. So the prize is all of the effort and the months and all that stuff that went into it. And I'm the amount of value I put into that, that's a prize for me because I worked to get
whether you get first place or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm the prize and you should work for me. Why? Right. And this is the same thing for men and women.
Yes.
Right?
That's why it's
both. This is for both.
Should view each other as the prize.
And that's where you have your red pills, right? Yeah. Your typical incels that are like, oh, well, a woman should want to do this for me because I'm the man and I'm going to protect and I'm going to provide. And it's like, yeah, like, cool.
What function is she serving? Because if you just want a cooker and cleaner, you can hire a maid.
Right. And also, what kind of nigga are you? Right? If I'm taking care of everything else and you're like, and I gotta clean, and like that's the one thing you gotta do. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, yeah, because if you want access to the rest of this, the one thing I'm asking for is that, right? That's where the prize thing kind of comes in, where if it goes kind of one direction. Now, if two neutral people are sitting and they grow and they build something towards each other, I guarantee you, if you earn something and you build something with your partner, you won't feel like you're the only prize.
Yeah. Amen.
You know what I mean? Like
he's dropping bombs.
We'll both feel like we're in this together. And I earned it and I built this. But if you're the only one building, then yeah, you might be like all the work, all the time, and all the effort and stuff that I put in to get here is not going appreciated. Then yeah, we'll move on to the next thing. Yeah. And that's where hypergamy should work.
Right.
Where a good woman with a not shit nigga should move on to at least a good man, if not a great man. Yeah. And a good man with a not woman should move on to somebody who is a good woman or a great woman, right? We should all naturally be trying to get ourselves out because then all the not people will weed themselves out. Or like what the late great Kanye say, he said, hater made her hater niggas and have hater kids.
The late. Oh, you mean the death of
The death of because
because
now it's
Kanye's dead.
now it's the artist formerly known as Ye.
Well,
right.
The artist formerly known as well, we won't get into Pointer's classic tracks, but I've enjoyed this time with my dear Christian. He is a legend, and I want more of these conversations. So I need you to continue to subscribe, like, comment, share, and you need to plug your Instagram because some want more content from you 5 years later.
Okay, so I understand Pointer has the greatest editorial team on the planet, and we'll put the
we definitely do
the socials right here because I do not know the socials off the top of my head.
I even have it memorized after 5 years.
Right,
Christian Ria. Ria. Wait, I always say it wrong.
Here's the thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those last names that you will hear and will forget.
Yeah.
Right. It's because it doesn't sit in the ears really well. So.
Ria.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Folks, I love you. Continue to subscribe, like, comment, share, follow Christian, and we'll catch you on the next mini episode of The Last Talk Show.
Man, I love this.
We'll get you back. Well, we ain't done.
Oh, yeah.
Please, we got more coming.
Please don't be. Please get up here if I got under boot.
Amen.
I know what you're thinking, friends. I want to watch more of his videos. Well, that's a beautiful thing. We've got this video here, which is one of my favorites. I promise you, you won't regret watching it. We also have this playlist if you just want to dive deep into what we do, or this video here, which is groundbreaking, or you can click this if you plan to subscribe, which I hope you do. So thank you for watching, folks. We've got a lot of content just for you. Hope you enjoy.